Chronological Bible, number one, the story of creation.
I'm trying to go historical with this. If you don't know, the Bible is not in chronological order, so it can be confusing, especially if you read the books of the prophets.
If you didn't know, the Bible is not in chronological order, especially the books of the prophets that are all over the place, and you're like wondering what's going on. Just like the book of Esther that takes place after the Babylon exile. One thing I do love about this, especially when you get to, the 1st and 2nd Samuels, how they mix the Psalms in with the stories, especially David, praying to God during his tribes and tribulations with Absalom's and with Bathsheba and everybody else. This is also one of the reasons why I'm a Christian. Everything just adds up properly. Transition times. The book of Genesis. The Old Testament as a whole chronicled the history of the nations of Israel. This nation does not emerge as an entity until the book of Exodus, when God appears to the 12 tribes at Sinai. Genesis, then, is the prologue to the history of Israel. Chapters 1 through 11 tells about the creation and the earliest history of all mankind. And chapters 12 through 50 describes God's working within the chosen family of Abraham, from whom Israel descended from. Within the theological narratives of Genesis 1 through 11 are several briefs, comments that reflect the advancing civilizations of Mesopotamia and Egypt. There are conflicts between hunters and shepherds, and between shepherds and farmers and humans. Develop of technology and craftsmanship and establish the first cities. Chapters 11 describes humanity's technical skills and vaulting ambitions, in the account of the towers of ziggurats and the plans of Shinar. Mesopotamia, as in the Mesopotamians and Egyptians writing, there are stories of creation and of the worldwide flood. Wow. Genesis, along with the book of Exodus through Deuteronomy, has traditionally been attributed to Moses. Many scholars retain this view today, but others, nothing erupts changes in vocabulary and style, and certain perspectives that appear to come from later times argue that the book contains several sources, that traditions some much older than others. In either case, whether written entirely by Moses or composed from 900 BC to 400 BC, or various ancient strands, the book of Genesis is recounting of Israel's origins by one who knows that all this was leading to God's choice of Israel as a special treasure above all people. Exodus chapter 19:5. Genesis, the story of creation, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, and that it was good. And God divided the light from darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evenings and the mornings were the first day. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Thus God made the firmaments, and divided the waters which were under the firmaments from the waters which were above the firmaments, and it was so. And God called the firmaments heaven. And so the evenings and the mornings were the second day. Then God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herbs that yield seeds, and the fruit trees yield fruits according to its kind, whose seeds in itself in the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and the herbs, and that yield seeds according to its kind, and the trees that yield fruits, whose seeds in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evenings and the mornings were the third day. Then God said, "Let there be light in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for the signs of the seasons and the days of the years, and let them be for the lights in the firmaments of the heavens, to give the light on the earth." And it was so. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also, and God set them in the firmaments of heaven, to give the light on the earth, and to rule over the days and over the nights, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So the evenings and the mornings were the fourth day. Then God said, "Let the waters abound with the abundance of the living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmaments of the heavens." So God created the great sea creatures and every living thing that moves, and with which the waters abounded according to its kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters of the sea, and let the birds multiply on the earth." So the evenings and the mornings were the fifth day. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creatures according to its kind, cattle and creeping things, and the beasts of the earth, each according to its kind." And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, every thing that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." And so God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. And then God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "See, I have given you every herb that yields seeds which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree in whose fruits yield seeds on the earth, and everything that shall be food for you. Also to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, to everything that creeps on the earth, which there is life, I have given every green herbs for food." And it was so. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. And so the evenings and the mornings were the sixth day. Quick study: the Creator God is not the sun or the moon. It says in Genesis 1:16, the two great lights that created by God are called the greater light and the lesser light. The words sun and moon were not omitted by ancients from this verse. The writers of Genesis were aware that two prominent gods worshipped the ancients near east were the sun and the moon. In Egypt, the sun was associated with several important gods, including Amon-Ra and Re and Atum. Egyptians believed that the sun, as the god Re, created the world by his own personified powers. One of Re's eyes was the moon god Tefnut. Another Egyptian god was Ptah, who was also considered the creator of all things. In Mesopotamia, the sun god Shemesh was worshipped as a benefactor of the oppressed, night seen as a passing of the sun to the netherworld, or the underworld. Ancient people prayed to the hidden suns for meditations between the deeds and of the living. The Canaanite worshippers knew the sun as Shemesh, and the appearance of this god's name and its place names, such as Beth Shemesh, 1 Samuel chapter 6 verse 12. Hence the importance of Shemesh. But in any case, they are only greater and lesser lights. No one should acknowledge them as deities or confuse them with the true God. They are simply creation or creator God. Chapter 2, verse 1. And thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. In the seventh day God ended his works which he had done. And he rested on the seventh day from all his works which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his works which God had created and made. This is the history of the heavens and the earth, and when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and before any plant of the field was on the earth, and before any herb of the field had grown. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground, but the mist that went up from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. A quick study on the created by the conquest in Babylon. In Neo-Babylon Empire, which was about 826 BC, the fourth day of the new year was highlighted by Elas, a liturgical text relating to the creation of the physical world. This Babylonian poem was originally composed sometime before or during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Glorified Marduk as the divine ruler and establisher of order in the universe. According to the Babylonian epic, before the world existed, there were only Apsu, and Tamat, and the god and the goddess of